This is a story about how a random series of events connected a group of people across the globe and united us in a commitment to accomplish the nearly impossible in an improbably remote corner of the world. Phil Michael is the first of these people. An expedition leader, Phil has done extensive work in Nepal, and through those efforts he's worked closely with Ang Dawa Sherpa, the logistics chief of his expeditions in Nepal. Dawa lives in Kathmandu but grew up in Gorakhani, a small village near Mount Everest. My son and I met Phil and Dawa in New Mexico in 2008 when we were getting ready for a backpacking adventure at Philmont Scout Ranch. Gorakhani is a village in the Solakhumbu region of northeastern Nepal. It's home for about 1,400 Sherpa families. The word Sherpa means Eastern people. The Sherpa migrated east from Tibet and settled in this remote area about 400 years ago. Their language, a Tibetan dialect, is being spoken by fewer and fewer people as Nepali and English are becoming the primary languages in Nepal. By Western standards, the people of Gorakhani are poor. Their subsistence agriculture economy requires hard work, and potatoes, which thrive at the 3,000 meter altitude, are the main staple of their diet. Sherpa lifestyle is nearly completely dependent on what they can take from the land, supplemented by a few goods purchased with cash raised by Sherpa men, many of whom leave the village for months at a time to work as porters and skilled craftsmen, supporting the tourism industry and the growing urban centers in the Kathmandu Valley. Kathmandu is only 75 miles from Gorakhani as the crow flies, but getting there requires a 2-day trek to the nearest road, and the drive from there is treacherous. In May of 2009, Dawa invited Phil to visit his family in Gorakhani. It had been 2 years since Phil and Dawa had been back to the village, as the journey there is long and expensive. While there, Phil was moved to find a way to help his friend's village. After discussing it with the village governing council, they all agreed that what they needed most was a new school. Gorakhani, like many other villages in the area, had a school that had been built with funds from Sir Edmund Hillary's foundation. Hillary, who was the first to summit Mount Everest in 1953 with Sherpa Tenzing Norgay, had also been moved to help the Sherpa people. But his legacy investment in Gorakhani, which you see here, has reached the end of its useful life. To be successful, responsibility for any project like this must be owned by the local community. So they got together and started to make a plan for their new school. To start generating interest in the project, Phil put up the first Sherpa School website, but it wasn't designed to generate donations. Although he didn't have a well-defined plan as to how he was going to raise funds, Phil's intention was to find a way to fund the school through private donations. He and others have already sent some money to the village to support both the current teacher's salary and the initial acquisition of building materials. Rotary International is the world's first service club organization with more than 1.2 million members and 33,000 clubs worldwide. I joined the Bedford, Massachusetts Rotary Club in 2009 and learned of my club's many projects earlier in Nepal focused on literacy education in the Kathmandu Valley. When I asked if a project like Phil's would be appropriate for Rotary funding, everyone encouraged me to jump on it. I'm working through Rotary to bring local funding and support to the project today, with a plan to write a Rotary Foundation grant proposal involving a partner club in Nepal for next year. Our vision is to create a world-class elementary education program and to house it in a modern facility built to support teaching methods appropriate for rural Sherpa elementary age learners. This will require both teacher training and supplies to support the students and their teachers. These short-term needs are the focus of this phase of our project. In the next 2 years, the project will involve the construction of a new school, which will be funded by private donations and supplying it with desks, chairs, blackboards, toilet facilities, and a playground. Our longer-term vision involves using solar energy and satellite technology to connect the teachers and students to partner schools in the United States. This phase of the project is budgeted to cost $13,000. Those funds will be used to purchase school uniforms and shoes, school supplies, and curriculum materials. The cost for the complete project, to be carried out over the following 2 years, will bring the total expense to $73,000. None of these expenses include travel costs. In February 2011, we will meet in Kathmandu to start the Sherpa School Foundation Trek. My wife Susan is a literacy specialist, and she'll join the group to work with a teacher and his 2 assistants on the use of curriculum materials and teaching methods that will help the kids in Gorokhani develop solid literacy skills in the Sherpa language, Nepali, and English. Everyone on the team will bring enthusiasm, additional financial support, and energy to the project. The traditional greeting in Nepal is Namaste. Translated, it means something like, "I honor the spirit in you which is also in me." It's a casual phrase uttered many times each day, but it speaks volumes about our interconnectedness. I encourage you to learn more about our efforts, and if the spirit moves you, to consider joining us in our effort to help the children of Gorokhani.